Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. We have a few people in already.
Yahoo!
Yeah. And yes, it's Kirby's turn again. Love having Kirby here. Oh, hi, Patricia. Hey, Trish. Okay, who else is here? Okay. All right. Please, everyone, join in the chat too so we know you're here. And Kirby is back. I don't know what stories you have told them the last 2 weeks. Last week I did watch, but family and everything. Have you told them everything you do?
No, actually, I don't believe, other than Scott introducing me as his favorite acupuncturist. I'd like to say for the record, it's only acupuncturist, but that's beside the point. I have a kind of an interesting story. In my first career, I was an environmental chemist. So I was working for a very large transportation disposal company, one of the largest in the U.S. actually. In 2010, decided that I had that epiphany that people talk about. I looked around at the people I was working with and working for, and kind of realized I didn't really like any of them. A lot of them were on their second and third divorces. They had children. They wanted nothing to do with them. And I kind of went, why am I here? The universe gave me a wonderful opportunity with horseback riding injuries where I dislocated my elbow and broke the other one. And at the end of that was exposed acupuncture and kind of jumped in both feet. So I've been studying and doing nothing but Asian medicine since 2010, September 2010. I have added, last year, I added the ability to work on animals, specifically pet horses and dogs. But I'm an herbalist. I'm an acupuncturist. I do Qigong. I use cold laser and injections. I mean, quite a lot of a little toolbox full of stuff.
Yeah, and for anybody who's in the Phoenix metropolitan area, that is, he's a jack of all trades when it comes to health. And the name of you do have a website, correct?
Correct. Qingdao Wellness. It's spelled QINGDAO wellness.com.
Okay. I actually am going to add that to our stuff today.com so that I have a QR code. Ah, nice. And accept the cookies, people. Okay.
Cookies, yum.
Yes. Okay. Get back to it. So we have Kirty is in, and she is from India. She's living in India. And Kevin is in New York City right now.
That's fantastic.
We had a bunch, and now we're down to a few. So bring them back in, everybody. Because you do so much. I wanted to talk about the story you told me earlier, but I'm going to wait until more people get in. Please, everybody, share so we can get more people in this morning. And yes, Mr. Scott is vacationing right now. and hopefully sunny Mexico. Hopefully it's sunny. I know it's cool up here. We've got it.
Yes, it is.
Unusual for us. I mean, wearing long sleeves. That's how cool it is up here. Yeah. Who we got? Western New York. LOL, but New York. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, not New York City. Western New York. What does that mean? New York is New York.
I always get confused because they talk about upstate New York. Like,
Well,
okay.
that to me is Buffalo. So that's closer
Yeah.
to the Canadian border, right? I mean, that's what I get. I've never been that far north in New York. Been to New York
Yeah.
City. That's about it. Staten Island, I guess, too. Yeah. Anyway, does anybody have any questions this morning? I know, Kurti, you probably have a lot of questions. So go ahead and put that in there. By Buffalo, but it's New York. Oh, okay. So Western New York is Buffalo, New York, but Northern New York, I don't know. I'm confused.
I mean, it is a big state, so.
Really? I thought Arizona was a bigger
Yeah.
state.
Oh, okay. So comparatively speaking, yes, you're right. But for New England, or no, let's not call it that. For the
Northeast.
Northeast in general, most of the states are postage size.
Okay. Okay. So Kurti is her name. And she wants angel guidance. Hi, Jess. How weird. What's weird? Well, hey. Oh, what is this? Are my comments blocked? No, not anymore. I'm glad they popped up because I was wondering what was going on when nobody's. See a lot of people here, but then they're coming in waves, so it's different. Upstate New York is Albany. Oh, okay, got it. But people in Western New York up to Rochester. Okay. Okay. I was going through a lot of mess, but life is much better now. I am very excited about my future, so wanted to know about my future. Okay. So this is Kurti. So what do you have for Kurti?
I mean, in many cases, life is what we make of it, right? It's when we find our. Well, actually, in the I Ching, there is a chapter. It's called "Shocking Events" or Arousal, and in that chapter, it talks about when we see the same patterns coming up, and we see things that aren't really necessarily going for us. It's an opportunity to evaluate what's going on within us, right? So, what behaviors, ways of looking at the world, attitudes are blocking our progression, and when we can evaluate those kind of things, and reorganize ourselves back onto the path, the correct behaviors and things like that, things change very quickly. So sometimes when we find ourselves in a difficult place, it's important to look within and figure out how it is that we've ended up in this place.
Yeah, she's been going through a lot of things mentally, emotionally in the last, I don't know, 6 months or so. But I'm glad she's doing better. And what do I got for Kurti? The first word they give to me is this. Yes, I'm trying to correct. I'm working on correcting and break the old patterns. Yes, because trying Yeah, if we use that word, nothing's going to change. I mean, to me, trying is like tomorrow. It never comes. It never comes to fruition. Okay. Last 2 years, okay. Because I know you've been talking to us more in the last 6 months. So it's been going on for 2 years. And the word they're given to me is distance. Distancing yourself. No, they say distancing your emotions from those who want to drain you. You have what we call vampires. Oh, and they're this is soul sucking vampires. I thought they were just going to say emotional vampires, but no, they're saying soul sucking vampires. Working on it. Yeah, that's great. That's great. But distancing yourself, and I know that's difficult in certain cultures specifically, to distance yourself from certain people. So my best suggestion would would to surround yourself with a bubble. You can fill the bubble with any light you want, gold Christ light, uh, anything you want to fill it with. Love. That is a great energy to fill it up with. But have mirrors to the outside of your bubble. Didn't understand the vampire part. Basically, your soul is very important. Okay, that is what you are made of by the Creator. The Creator made your soul. Okay, that it's made out of love and light, energy. But to me, more love than anything else. Okay, that's what I focus on is the love part. And there's someone, and they're showing me it's a female energy, and it's on the outside of you. So it's not your inner circle. They haven't truly attacked you as much as they can because you flipped the switch and taking more responsibility for yourself right now and taking your power back from others. They're very strong on that you've taken a lot of your power back. But this person is distance, and they're saying there's more than one of them, and they're female. And I'm trying to find out which side of the family they're on. It feels like an in-law, but not not our mutual friend. It's not on that side, but there are female energies that are doing that. Oh, and you're not trusting yourself as much. And they're trying to diminish your intuition. All of a sudden that came up. It was a flare to your solar plexus. So just protect yourself. You've got this. You've come a long way, and you just need to keep those people at a distance and don't let their energy come in. And every morning and every night, if you want to, is to bring your energy back to you. And I'm going to go with the spell breaker prayer. Boop. How do you cope with this? Just one day at a time. Saying these things, I mean, I have a few of them, but I revoke access to all entities and their strings that cause harm to me. I rebuke all energies that keep me from my blessings. May my guides remove any spells cast against me, block any ill intentions coming for me, and protect me fiercely. No spell shall prosper against me. I recall my energy. I reclaim my power. I rejuvenate my magic. None of their fear, projections, or energy can live within me. Their prayers against me fall upon deaf ears. May the divine hold and protect me, remove all ill will that is shackled to my spirit and set it free, and set me free. As I will, so mote it be. Those are just, that's just one of the sayings or the mantras that I have that really help in pulling it back. And I actually translated that into Swedish for Victor, and he said it helped him utilizing his native language. So you might want to do that too, is translate it into your native language and then use it, because it's very powerful prayer and it does work. And if you use it in the morning and at night, it does help, especially when you're being attacked. Just 16-minute delayed. Oh, okay. And speaking of Victor, he is in the house. So welcome in, Victor. As soon as I say your name, you pop in.
When I was in acupuncture school, I was exposed to a concept of protection. Acupuncture as an energetic medicine, we open ourselves to whatever the patient is experiencing. And so one of my friends who is a huge Star Trek fan, I don't know if everybody across the world knows Star Trek, but every time there was any kind of trouble with Star Trek, the first thing they did is they put shields up. And so she says she envisioned a energetic area, space that's away from her body that will absorb all of that negativity and deflect it, keep it from coming onto her. Later on, as I got into acupuncture and private practice and doing those kind of things, I was exposed to the children's series, The Avatar, and one of the characters is named Toph, and she's an earthbender. And Toph protects herself very frequently by bringing earth in front of her, and sometimes she makes a bubble around herself of this earth or whatever. So I started using that as my mental picture. You know, here's Mother Earth protecting me in front of me, blocking those things out there, and kind of just following through my day. That area of protection just kind of follows through there. Something like that can be really powerful in helping us change the mindset and interacting with the world as it truly is and not as we want it to be.
I like that. Yeah. And I have watched Avatar. My granddaughter watches that, so kind of know which one you're talking about. Haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that helps you, Kirty, because you can protect yourself. You just have to make the decision to do that. And welcome in, Christopher. I will do my best to send a prayer. Try and I will make the attempt to copy and post it in here. Like childhood program I grew up on was Care Bear Beam. Beam us up. Care Bear beams you up? Okay, I just remembered. Scotty beamed me up. So,
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to work on that in a minute. Okay, who else has a question? But you've got this, Kirty, and you've done so much so far, so just keep going. So, Jess, are you still in? Oh. I hope you're working in. All right. I'm going to check on my YouTube. So, while we're waiting for the next question to pop up, could you tell us the story that you told me this morning about Bailey?
Sure. So Bailey is a corgi. No, not a corgi. Sorry, Jack Russell Terrier mix. 4 years old. Mom and Dad one day got up out of bed and found that poor little Bailey had injured herself somehow, unknown, and from mid-spine to tail was completely numb. So she's dragging herself on the ground, not able to hold herself up, not able to walk. The veterinarian thought that this would be a pretty severe injury and recommended Mom and Dad get a wheelchair for the dog and teach her how to use that, because probably that's how she was going to get around forever. They got a referral and came to see me, and I saw them 3 weeks, twice a week. And when I saw them on Wednesday, Bailey came in on her own 4 paws and was moving around the room. And she's not 100%, like she's still very unstable and definitely has some work to do, but she was under her own power. That's the important thing.
Yeah. And only 6 times, so that's great. Good morning, Don. Welcome in.
Yeah.
Welcome in. And he was just telling a story about the dog Bailey. And I know that Don has a dog named Ghost. Very lively dog. But we've also had a lot of people come in that have had problems with their dogs one way or another. So if you guys do want some help with your fur babies or even horses, to me that's not too much of a fur baby. They're a little bigger, but Kirby can help, especially in this. She was in a wheelchair. That's awesome for the puppy. No, she doesn't have to have a wheelchair. That's the
And she didn't really like the wheelchair anyway. She couldn't quite figure out how to get herself around the way she wanted. So I mean, it works out really well for everybody. Yeah, if I ever, Kevin, if I ever stopped treating humans, it would definitely be to full-time treat animals. They are very spectacular and that stuff. Not that I have any plans to do that, just for the record, but
Does anybody have any herbalist questions, acupuncture questions, anything at all? The person I put up there is my brother. So Isle Flyer is my brother. Fur babies, my cats, yes. And you're welcome to read his cats.
yeah.
I know one is Casper, and that's a whiter one, but I don't remember the other one's name. And they just moved, so you know how that goes.
Oh, stress.
He
Yeah,
said
yeah.
one Casper wasn't doing too well, but I guess has come out of it. Okay, but diversify, LOL. Yes.
Well, since we're getting ready to come into a change of season, coming out of spring and into summer, a really good herbal formula that's very, very simple. In Chinese, it's called guizhitang, also known as the cinnamon twig decoction. So when we have a little bit of headache, stiffness in the neck, maybe some clear, runny nasal discharge, runny eyes, itchy throat, those kind of things, no cough, no sweating, then guizhitang, which is cinnamon twig. It is white peony root. It is raw ginger and licorice root. It's a really simple formula. You would take that formula, boil it like you would a tea, drink the tea, and cover up. When you start to sweat, you stop taking the formula, and you should be all back into the mint.
Okay.
So it's a really ancient formula.
It would be nice if I could type that up.
Right. Well, maybe
okay.
I can do that. Hold on. Let me see.
I don't.
Just put it into the chat.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's private chat. I need to be.
You could go. You haven't connected your Facebook or anything. Did you want to connect your?
I don't have Facebook on this
okay.
computer, so I ran into problems with
Okay.
that. Let's see.
If you wanted to email me.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
That way I can add it.
Not a problem. Yeah. Yeah, chiropractors really do well with the animals. It's kind of funny to see the animals sort of evaluate how they fit in the world when they have those adjustments.
Good.
So acupuncture. So I guess the easy answer there is this is a medicine that dates back several thousand years. And so before surgical interventions, before X-rays, before pharmaceuticals, this was the medicine that Asia used to treat anything in the human condition. How it really works and what particular systems it affects is very much under debate. Um, and so here's what I have seen it in private practice all the time I've been doing this. We make huge adjustments, but not necessarily on just one system. It's a very holistic approach. It really honestly changes quite a bit in the overall health and well-being of the patient. There's a great story out of Japan. A acupuncturist was just happened to be getting on the train to go to work and noticed that somebody kind of fell over on the train track or on the platform, and went over and very end of the finger just bit down on that and restarted the heart from a myocardial infarction. So heart 9 does have an effect on the cardiac system itself and can change things up. So we know that those things happen. We just don't always necessarily see the whole big picture.
Okay, so private chat will work according to Don, that we can do this. Okay, so if you do that, I'll just copy it and paste it.
Hopefully my spelling is enough that people can figure out what I'm trying to say.
Facebook can be problematic on lots of levels. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Don, on that. Okay, and let's see what we got. As a Lyran starseed, I'm so connected to cat aliens, been having dreams of stuff happens on planet. I did get a warning before tsunami one day before it happened in Japan. Oh, cool. Yeah, but what do you do with that information? I know that's difficult for all of us to figure out. Okay. Now we can hear the clickings.
Good Lord, spelling is really tough this morning. I'm in good company. I can misspell in 3 languages, so
I know. It is definitely normal. So next time you're out here, brother, might need to set up a session with Kirby. And when Scott gets back, it could be Saturday mornings at 7 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay, here we go. Here it comes, guys.
I like the fact that you call them cat aliens. I'm pretty sure that the Egyptians imported those guys from another planet thousands of years ago, and they've been around ever since.
Okay, so you've got those in 2 different spots. The email, the recipe: cinnamon twig, white peony root, raw ginger, and licorice root. I have the peony root. Not the peony root, but the ginger, the raw ginger.
Yeah.
Where are you located?
I
Okay, he's at, I'm going to put his in here. Oh, actually, I'm going to, I have it captioned already on his email address. Here we go. And I will type it in the chat as well so that you guys have that. And he is in the Mesa area, or East Valley, I should say.
Yeah. I provide mobile services, so I treat people in their homes.
And it's at Gmail, right?
Correct.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, now it's also in the chat. Your bot isn't working on Facebook. Oh, so only Facebook chat show up on Facebook. Okay. I'm seeing yours. I'll have to check the bot again because we had a little bit of problem earlier. Let's see if I can. And what is the scope your practice?
So I'm an acupuncturist. I provide herbal consultations. I provide acupuncture, body work, which is Tui Na, energy work, Qigong. I will use acupuncture point injections to provide substances onto acupuncture points. I hope that answers all your questions.
Yeah. Okay. What was I looking at? Sorry about that. Trying to check what's going on. My restream. Have to get the chat going. What in the world? Where am I at? What is the scope? Methods, etc. Okay. View channel. Okay. Hopefully I can find you guys and work on this right now. Okay. I'm seeing it's working, but maybe not. Okay. All right. Sorry, back and forth here. Okay. And then we have sleeping pound somewhere in the hand in pushing on carefully, and it works for me. What?
Oh, a point to get you to sleep. And is it in the hand or is it on the wrist? I traditionally will use heart 7 on the wrist. That's a point that's said to sedate the heart and help us ease into sleep. Though Lao Gong or heart 8 could be very useful for that too. So I'm not sure which one of the three you might be referring to.
No, we have a sleeping. Oh, he knows where that there is somewhere, but he's, and I'm pushing on carefully, and it works. Okay. No one's here for readings, I guess, today.
Still kind of early.
SOS spelling, haha. Yeah. We get it. Yeah, you don't have to be accurate. We understand completely. Yeah. So how are your, you said something about your cats earlier, Mr. Victor. Oh my goodness, I didn't see that. My daughter dreamed yesterday of riding a flying cat alien.
That must have been a fun ride.
His 4-year-old daughter.
Nice.
She must like cats a lot for them to come in like that. Okay. Okay, here it is. Casper and Oliver is a lot balanced now, but have little mischief behavior in kitchen.
That sounds like cats.
And normal, not something
Yeah,
from stress related. No, typically not.
right.
So, welcome to reading my cats, what he picks up. Okay, so he'd like you to pick up something on his cats.
I get a feeling that they're becoming more and more comfortable with the surroundings. They like the kitchen because I think you spend a lot of time there. So it's a way of making sure that everything is good in the world, so to speak.
And something about the lighting there. Is there more natural light in that kitchen? They like the light. I don't know what it is about the light. They might even be chasing the light in there too.
Mm. That sounds like it'd be normal behavior again.
Yeah. But I'm getting um they want me to say furball. Lower lower left. Which cat? And they're saying Casper. Casper has a furball. Here, I love they can run around it. Okay. Oh, so that's why there's an open space in the kitchen that they can run around. How's the lighting there? That's my question. Yeah, I think they. It feels like they're past the stressed out stage. You did something very, very dear to them on the transition. I don't know what it was, but they're very happy about it. Did you have to stay at your mom's house at all during the transition? We love delay. We love delay. So, Kevin, are you still here? Jess, are you still here? Because I need to know. I mean, I'm looking at my stuff. It looks fine, but if I need to get Restream in to check on the chats again, because I'm seeing that it's fine. All of the apartment is a lot more lighter and my self-feeding this transforming state just the 2 days I lived there. And my self-feeling.
I mean, to be feeling that comfortable, all three of you, in 2 days is pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Definitely seems like it's a great place for where you are right now.
Yep. He moved back to closer to his family than when he was living before. And the cats hadn't been there. They hadn't lived that area. So. But whatever you did it right. Because I know how I know how anxious you were before the move. So it's good to know that you guys are transforming to the new area so smoothly. And I feel a lot of excitement over it. Okay. funny is came as baby. I live just next complex. Yes. So that was his first area of living, was nearby where he's at right now.
Gotcha. Mm. Yeah, being an empath is definitely a tough road to hoe.
Yeah. But the cats do help you with that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a good reason that the Egyptians thought that they protected from the underworld. They have some pretty interesting abilities and senses that they use for our benefit all the time.
Trying to see what's going on. If we're having problems with Facebook, because I'm seeing people posting, and I checked on my stuff. Yeah, it's posting. Ustream. No. Awfully quiet today.
Yeah, it is.
Totally new.
I don't
Not
know
too
why.
bad.
I had the scene from Aladdin where the genie is talking about phenomenal cosmic power, itty bitty living space. That seems like a cat.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the Facebook is looking good. At least it was. Huh?
Well, didn't you say we were in Mercury retrograde, so we should expect all kinds of crazy things?
Yes, yes. And things have, before I left on my mini vacation, it Restream was really messing up. And then all of a sudden it was working without any problems. But when you guys were on last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, it was difficult to see the Facebook.
Ah,
So let's see. Casper over hairball. Okay. Yeah. I have feeling of it. Okay. Yeah, and I don't know. You probably know this better than I would, because back in the day when I had cats, I was a lot younger. Um, we used to give them petrol malt for hairballs.
mm-hmm.
Is that still something to use? Because when it says petrol malt, to me it means it has petroleum products.
Yeah, it's like a kind of,
Okay.
the way to think of it is like kind of a Vaseline. So we're gonna kind of coat the hairball and also side of the digestive tract to kick that out, to kick that thing out. Today there's formulations that are into feed that are the same kind of concept. that tend to do a really good job. There isn't a lot of research on how those kind of additives affect overall cat health. But yeah, they definitely help to reduce the um, instances of coughing up hairballs, which is a really polite way of saying puking all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. A friend of mine who's new to cats um, said that, told me what her cat was doing, just trying to get rid of something. I said, "Oh, it's a cat. It's a hairball." She kind of looked at me like, "Really?" And I go, "Yeah, it's normal."
Yeah.
And they said that petromalt was natural, but I'd rather come up with something new than deal
Yeah.
with
The fish oil seems to be a really good.
fish
Not
oil.
only will it help with the coat and that kind of stuff, it seems to be really good at keeping the digestive tract nice and loose in that regard. Um, in humans, we have to be careful with fish oil because it is a little bit of a blood thinner. So we can run into problems with that. Cats are not humans, so I don't know how much that is dangerous is a concern for them. Yeah, the essential fatty acids from things like olive oil and fish oil and things like that are really phenomenal at overall general health. And of course, cats being um, obligate carnivores, it definitely has to come from the right source. Fish oil is preferential.
Good. Oh, that'll. And they probably like the taste better. And some
Yeah,
drops of olive oil as well.
yeah, not bad stuff.
Now, is olive oil a better one than, say, avocado oil or any other oil? I like the fish
Um,
oils. Sounds
yeah,
better.
fish oil is the best specifically for cats. It's the best. The olive oil is probably if you had to do something other than the fish oil, olive oil is probably better. You can't use well. You shouldn't use too much. They will have problems digesting too much. But a couple of drops, it's not too big of a deal.
Yeah. I'm checking on my bots and everything to see what's going on with the chats. And funny is, I did get gigantic love bite from Casper on the ear, like, "Dad, listen." Ah, cool. So get some more fish oil. And he's in Sweden, so fish oil shouldn't be that hard to get up there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, cats do have a way of talking to you.
oh yeah. It's funny when I was learning how to treat horses. One of the instructors said, "Hey, the horse is always talking. You have to be really paying attention." And it was funny because as she would approach the horse would kind of lean over and noozle against her ribs or touch her leg or whatever, and she would then go and on the same part of the anatomy on the horse would rub or hold or whatever. And it was funny, like she was treating the whole time she's interacting with us, the whole time she's talking to us, because the horse would touch her and she'd go to that area on the horse and just hold it, and the way you literally see the horse go, oh, okay, it just get that treatment in there. It was really kind of a cool experience.
Well, I remember Tennessee Walker my mom had. And anytime I'd be petting him, rubbing him down, whatever, uh, I'd have my cowboy boots on. Now, my cowboy boots
Mhm.
were big for me, and thank goodness they were, because I was able to curl my toes up well enough so when the horse would step on my cowboy boot, I could still take my foot out and did not hurt my toes or break my toes. But he would do that
Yeah.
every single time, lean on me and step on my shoe.
Yeah.
So
I another time. So there's a neurological condition in horses. It's called head shaking, and it literally they are losing proprioception. They're not really sure where their head and neck is, so they kind of throw their head around. And one of my instructors went out to this horse and was like, "Oh, this isn't a head shaker. That horse has got pain in the neck. So literally pain in the neck." And so he just actually did some. The horse wouldn't let him do anything else but just acupressure. So he just had a hand on the shoulder and a hand on the hips, and just kind of stood there for a little while. And the horse kind of turned its head, and there was a little crack, just self adjustment or whatever. And he's like, "All right, that's the end of the treatment." As he was walking away, the horse stretched a little bit further and adjusted the entire neck from base of skull all the way down to the shoulder blades. And they were super excited, like, "Oh, he completely stopped shaking his head," and it was neck pain. It wasn't neurological. So they were obviously excited. They didn't have to worry about the horse being put down anytime soon or anything like that. It's cool stuff.
Thank you, Restream, for posting that. Hopefully you'll test Facebook and bring some more people back in. See what's happening out there. Oops.
Oh, Victor, you have a cat that kind of does one of these.
What did he?
He said, "I love lean cats sit down and paw in the air."
Oh, okay.
My wife has a cat that begs for everything. "I want food. I want some of your food. Please love me." So he just sits on his hind end and kind of does one of these, like he's praying. I was wondering if that's the same thing Victor's seeing.
Hold on just a second. Okay. All right. So, working with Restream at the same time. He said it came in pretty quickly, so there's not too much of a delay right now with YouTube. And we got more people coming in. Oh, good. Good. And last night I did hearing Oliver say really hi, hello. Oh. Have you started recording them? That would be cool.
Yeah. It's amazing how they can emulate human speech when they want to.
Yeah. And there's so many videos of dogs saying, "I love you." And it really sounds like it too. So
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Thank you, Grant. All right. Well, I guess we're up and running on the chats. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part is catching them when they're doing it. Sometimes they like to do it like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah. All right. Oops, I meant to do that. All right. Done. Okay. So, any other stories?
I really actually love treating human beings that are a little bit skeptical. Like, are you sure this can happen? recently I picked up a patient, and she'd had acupuncture before and was pretty convinced that it didn't work. It wasn't really going on. And the only reason that she decided to give me a try is her friend, who's seen me in the past, was like, "No, you got to see Kirby. He's different. You just give it a try." And so almost immediately, she started noticing some changes in her health outcomes and things. That's really that's fun. Megacolon. Okay. So one thing about megacolon is you really honestly got to be careful. They're going to be sensitive to food. They're going to be sensitive to stress. They're going to have, and when they get stressed or when they get too much food or not enough food or whatever it happens to be, they almost immediately start collecting stool in the large intestine. And that's when it gets really tough. My wife has a cat with megacolon. She makes sure that he's on a special feed that's easy to digest, plenty of water. Don't feed dry food. That tends to make things a little worse. She uses Miralax to help him continue. In essence, as what it looks like in the x-rays and things is that instead of being the colon sort of a nice round tube like this, it's much more of a spastic, relaxed, large round. And so it doesn't really, peristalsis doesn't move the stool down really well. So you got to make sure you're doing everything to help them move that stool through there for their own good. Yeah. When they can't move, they definitely get very nauseous. And if it goes on too long, it gets really bad news.
Yeah. Hello, Miss Bonnie. Welcome in. We're talking fur baby health with acupuncture and other things. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you have a question about Miss Charlie, how's Miss Charlie feeling? Come on. So many things going on. Okay. There she is. She went to a different one. So Charlie, her dog, her little dog is Charlie, and she's doing well. They're experiencing what we've called a weather roller coaster there in Tennessee. They've got cold, they've got hot, they have tornadoes. It's just been crazy. So dogs definitely feel all of that as well.
Oh, they're huge. I mean, people tell me quite frequently that the animals don't really have emotions. The truth is that they have not only their own emotions, but they're the repository for our emotions. They help us to move through our own stuff, so to speak. So it's the fun thing about treating the pets is truthfully how everything that I do in the pet sort of rebounds back to mom and dad or sister or whatever, and how there seems to be this rebalancing in the family. It's kind of cool to watch, but I have no idea how it works.
Well, you were telling about Bailey and the fact that you wanted to cut down the number of visits, and mom and dad are having a hard time with that.
More so mom. Mom's really worried. What happens if it comes back? Is it gonna be okay? Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Like, we aren't gonna go back to the original injury. She's gonna be a little uncomfortable. and that's okay, because that gives her an opportunity to kind of stretch a little bit and see where her boundaries are and how those expand given some time. But yeah, it was definitely I don't know.
Well, it's not like you say, I don't want to see her for another 6 weeks. No, it's like,
Right.
I'll see her, just let's give it
Yeah.
a little bit.
Let's give it a full 7 days. So from Wednesday to Wednesday, let's see what happens. And and it was funny because then Dad stepped in. He's like, "Well, hold a second here, Mom. We're already going Wednesday to Friday because Kirby's only in the office Wednesday and Friday. Then we go from Friday to Wednesday. That's 5 days right there. So he's only asking us for another 2 days. Like, that's not the end of the world, right?" She was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense."
and I know they think a whole week, but when it comes to medical stuff, it's almost like the weekend doesn't count. And I know it does, but it doesn't count for visits.
Unfortunately, that's professionals work Monday through Friday. So it's emergency clinics and things like that. Obviously those are out there, but they're also relatively more expensive. So people tend to, it's got to happen Monday to Friday, whatever happens. Like, yeah, try telling that to the kittens that want to come.
Yes, yes. Now, are people calling vets more and more these days when the dogs and cats are having babies? I mean, used to be.
Not generally, okay. Unless there's a problem. Yeah. Not unless there's a problem. I mean, and there are some breeds, bulldogs, for instance, that tend to have more problems. And so, that breed, anybody that has them tends to call sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yep. And yes, they are sentient. Thank you, Ronnie. Yep. And do you prescribe any herbs to any of the animals?
So cats, I will not. Cats do not metabolize a lot of things very, very easily. So those guys, I tend to look at food and the acupuncture generally. Dogs, I can, and I've done really well with that. Horses, again, I have to be a little careful. There's a wonderful herb, astragalus. I know it is Huang Qi. Horses are allergic to. So you will actually mess a horse up if you even put it on topically. And unfortunately, it's a wonderful herb that helps to what we would say regenerate flesh, so it can heal wounds and things like that. Horses are often beating themselves up, but you can't use it on a horse. So I've actually been using homeopathy a lot more with the pets. It's super, super safe. It doesn't interfere with other medications. Don't have to worry about allergies and things like that because it is more or less an energetic medicine. So I use a lot more homeopathy than herbs.
That cold laser that you do, what do you do with the cold laser?
Again, so I'll use it in the pet specifically. I'll use it as an adjunctive to really reinforce the acupuncture treatment that I did. But I can use it for wound healing. So if a pet had a surgery, a good example, I have Morgane. Morgane is a 14-year-old shepherd. Wow. She had a melanoma mass removed on one of the front limbs, and I want to help that heal. I can't get to. They have vet wrap and everything around the wound itself, so I can't get to it. So I'm using the laser on points that help to build blood and regenerate flesh. So I'm using the points in areas that maybe she isn't really comfortable with the needle, but will still have that effect in there. I can use it for digestive concerns. So if there's, say, diarrhea or something like that, we can use the laser to help adjust that, reduce pain. So like, say, inflammation from arthritis, we can reduce that down, things like that. Like it's a really powerful little tool.
And it's just another tool in your arsenal.
Correct. Oh, that's a big question, Kevin. Ginseng is something that's looked at quite frequently from Ayurvedic root, ashwagandha. Rhodiola is another beautiful herb. It gives rhodiola is nice. Ashwagandha is really nice. They're adaptogenic herbs, so they tend to lift, but not overdo it like caffeine can. So those guys are going in there. There's companies that are using mushroom blends in lieu of coffee, and those have really had some really great benefits of giving a little bit of a boost without necessarily the crash that goes on there. So I guess the short answer is there's lots of things out there.
And I never really do coffee, but I used to love cocoa, but cacao does have caffeine, but
Mm-hmm.
a tablespoon is 12.5 grams compared to cocoa at 25 grams. And what, 45 for a cup of coffee or something like that. I do my best to keep my caffeine down to minimum, but adding the cacao to the mushroom blends has helped out a lot too.
Yeah.
And it gives you that little bit of chocolate flavor that is great.
It definitely does. Cacao is actually really spectacular. It has a lot of antioxidants and other things in there, so it's really a great additive.
Yeah. Yes, Miss A5 says comes on every Friday and does the fast food Friday. So it's good to eat, people. I don't know.
Uh, Victor, when you're talking about a shift, are you talking about something on the spiritual emotional level, or are you noticing kind of life being a little more hectic and things like that?
Or a cosmic shift, or I'm with you on fish, Angie, because it is Friday. Fish for Friday. And there's some places with all you can eat fish today. So
Yeah, I mean, the world has kind of been a little bit of a crazy place right now. Like generally, things are kind of up in the air. That's part of what I think a lot of people are experiencing. Um, Always remember though that we don't necessarily have to choose to play along, right? When things aren't going our way, disengage, kind of step back a little bit, look at what is it we're seeing, how are we reacting to it, and why. I'll give you an example. Very frequently, when I'm in a situation that's not really going my way, I'll fall back to, let's call it, brainwashing of my childhood. Um, and so I very rarely am reacting to what's actually going on in front of me. I'm reacting as I did back then, right? Whatever it was, we're being rebellious or being angry or whatever. And so when we find ourselves in the world where these things are coming at us, look within, like find where it is that we're actually stumbling ourselves, and choose maybe to do something different. It's really okay to walk away from a conversation or to leave a situation because it doesn't feed us. It's really okay to step into something that really honestly just, it might only feel great for this moment, but that's what we're supposed to do. We were given these emotions and these feelings to make amazing things happen, and downplaying those things as, oh, I'm just being crazy, or no, that really can't be the truth. I think we talked earlier um, about trusting yourself. That's a huge part of this journey. Understanding that things aren't always going to work out the way we want them to, and that's okay. Sometimes that's a really good thing, in fact.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, if we let somebody in, if we don't shield ourselves from those kind of interactions, it really honestly gets bad news really quickly.
Yeah.
That's a true statement, you know. And going back to my Star Trek or TOF example, having that little bit of protection, even if it's we only think it, this thing is pretty amazing, and what we think about we bring about, right? And just having that mental picture is enough to really, nope, you stay over there.
Yes.
And I'm going to go for a walk.
Yep. Yeah. And right now with Mercury retrograde, yes, we're having lots of fun with not just technology, but X's and things popping up from the past. Oh, and today is 4/4,
Yep.
which is a portal. So the 4/4 portal is happening right now as we are speaking. And it doesn't just close today. It doesn't open and close on the same day. It does not. It takes a while. But this is the height of the energy. So,
I like cutting cords. That's a good way, I find. Communication is always important. The proper communication is vital, though.
yes.
Make sure that we're being true to ourselves and using words that grow rather than diminish. I'm glad you learned lesson, Kevin. There are people that, myself included, will have that experience over and over and over again and never quite catch on.
Yeah. Definitely.
Careful what you wish for, I guess.
Portals work very well for Miss Angie. She reaches into portals and brings out what she wants. So she loves portals.
Weren't we talking about a pizza earlier?
Yeah, she decided on Fish Friday.
Oh, all right.
No, I don't want to figure out how to make a fish pizza. No, I do not. Anchovies, I never liked on my pizzas. I'm just saying.
They're being a little salty. I think I like them.
My mom would order half the pizza with anchovies and half without. And then she'd hand me a piece and say, there are no anchovies on this. They were full of anchovies. Yeah. And no, she did not do that on purpose. She actually thought that was the side without anchovies. So
Yuck.
that's okay. She likes anchovies, so that was fun.
Yeah.
There you go. Be specific.
Specific is terrific.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
One can still be vegetarian and eat pizza, by the way.
Yes. Angie does have big magic. That is correct. She does. And a lot of you can come see Angie with her big magic on Tuesday nights in our class. Just throwing that out there. 6 to 8 Mountain Standard Time every Tuesday. Are you really a vegetarian? I didn't think you were. Yep. Well, I know you usually leave early, but I have a feeling we just we'll do the 15 minutes and then just be done today because we're not getting a lot of our usual people in today. I guess they're all seeing what's happening in Cancun right now.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Scott told me he stole the show, so he stole it back and took it on vacation with him. What?
Yeah, we'll have to give him a hard time about that. But he'll be back next week. And yes, I will be at his place next week. I refused to go to his place last week because I didn't want anything happening in Cancun that he could blame on me. So, nope, ain't happening, people. Just saying. You've got enough
Better
to
safe
deal
than
with on
sorry.
your own, dude. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, any other stories? What else we got? I wish Pam had come in. Our dog whisperer. It would have been nice to have her in here today.
Yeah. I had a cool story. This is a couple years ago, I guess. I had a Irish wolfhound. Dad loved her to pieces. Like he showed Irish wolfhounds, and so she came in, and the diagnosis was degenerative myelopathy. So not really sure why, but basically her body was attacking the nerves. And so when she came in, she was super unstable. Her hind paws were crossing as she was trying to walk, so she was tripping all over herself and all this kind of stuff. Over the course of 6 or 8 months, we got her to a point where she walked. She had a little trouble getting up, especially if it was a slick surface. But she walked normally, and she was really super active and healthy, and everything was going great. Full disclosure, that's a disease that it's inevitable. Like at some point, the body's going to do enough damage that there's no coming back for that. But it was really a very fun experience to see. Even though we all knew what the outcome was going to be, it was how much time we had, and making that time as full as possible. So she was a sweetheart. I walked out of there completely covered in dog drool because she just loved to lick, and just really honestly, and it put it into perspective. Here is something that I was pretty much told I'm not going to do that. I didn't have very much time to live, and now I'm doing other things and stuff. So it was a cool experience. It was really, really fun.
Great. Yeah. And how much more time did she have fully?
As bad as it progressed when I first saw her, I would expect that we probably bought her a couple of months. But I ended up seeing her for I think altogether it was like 8 months. So I mean, that's it. We could have bought her 6 months. I don't know, but it's hard to say because things happen on a daily basis, right?
Right.
But
well,
yeah.
8 months of seeing her, to me, that's an accomplishment in it of itself.
Yeah. And Dad absolutely positively adored her. So that time was very, very precious to him. Elvis is 10, huh?
Rottweiler lab mix. Big boy.
Yeah. Now, big dogs tend to have problems with the hips, so make sure you're watching for discomfort when rising or laying down. Really, no desire to run, those kind of things. Acupuncture is fantastic for helping with that.
Yeah. And I don't know how Sweden is with acupuncture. I would think that they'd be kind of open to it, but all cultures are different
Right.
in how they do.
Well, I mean, acupuncture is only been known in the U.S. since the early 70s. When the story goes that when Richard Nixon, who was the only U.S. president to visit communist China after the Cultural Revolution, while he was in country, his press secretary, who worked for the New York Times, was diagnosed with appendicitis. And so what they did is they did the surgery to remove the appendix, and then they added acupuncture to get him back up and healing. He came home with President Nixon at the same time. So it was a 10-day visit or whatever. He came home with Nixon, which is unheard of at the time. Like, that's, with all the muscles that are cut and all those things, it's a really long recovery. He came home. And so he wrote a book about his experiences, and that was really kind of where America started looking at acupuncture. Interestingly enough, in Europe, they had a lot more exposure. When the French pulled out of Southeast Asia in the 50s, out of Vietnam, they brought back what has become known as French energetics, which is basically acupuncture from a Vietnamese perspective that the French, observed and started tinkering with, whatever. So they have a little bit more experience than we do, per se.
Yeah. I didn't realize that it took that long for the Chinese medicine acupuncture part of it, to get here. But back then, nowadays, somebody had an appendicitis a few months ago and it didn't take that long to recover. You're talking the 70s people.
Right.
And the way they cut people open during surgeries.
Yeah. Today they'll do appendicitis and you'll have a hole that's, an eighth of an inch or whatever. They do it laparoscopically. So they're not punching holes through, cutting all those muscles and everything like that. Back in those days, they laid you open, they reached in there and pulled it out and sewed it up and put everything back and hoped that everything stayed in place, kind of thing. So it's different.
Yeah. Even C-sections are totally different than they used to be. And so I know that from experience, I know that things have changed quite a bit, and I can't even imagine what the normal recovery time for appendicitis was back then. Probably 6 to 8 weeks, I would think.
Yep. Yeah. Now, what's interesting is that Chinese people have been in the U.S. for 200 years. They came over. They actually built huge sections of the Transcontinental Railroad for us. But it was kind of a secular thing. Like, they took care of themselves and stayed in their own communities and things like that. So it wasn't really necessarily that people were exposed to the medicine. And then when it became much more widely known, well, then, they started pushing for licensure and things in California and other places like that. In Arizona, licensure for acupuncture is only 28 years old. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting little story.
And here in Arizona, with people watching stuff like Wyatt Earp and Tombstone and stuff like that, they see the different things about Chinese, and it's usually opium dens, and they were real, and they were in the southern part of Arizona where a lot of the railroads were being built. They also have a community down there right on the borders. Douglas is a big Asian community, and it's very strange going down there thinking, you're right next to Mexico, and so you're expecting that, but going in the shops, they're watching Asian soap operas, not Mexican soap operas, not our soap operas. Is like, where am I? So like you said, it was in different spots, but yes, Arizona is very big in Asian market. We have an area here in Mesa that has the Asian district right now. So
yeah.
And I
well, that's great, Victor. He's saying that he started hearing about clinics that are doing acupuncture for pets and things.
Oh, cool.
Even if it's only muscle relaxing, it's still doing a heck of a lot more, truthfully.
And they
see when when we taught veterinarians, when acupuncturists taught veterinarians in this country in the 70s, we taught them what we knew, and what we knew was humans, and they took that and they used it. And so they often, the veterinarians will talk about, it's a scientific, it's a medical procedure, which means that they don't talk about the connections of the spiritual world, the emotional world. They're just looking at strictly this condition, this set of points, this condition, this set of points. The truth is, you can't remove those higher experiences from the medicine, right? So it's, even though if it's only muscle relaxant, it's still doing a boatload of other things. They're just not something you can quantify so easily.
Yeah. You're treating the whole animal, not just
Correct.
the muscle.
Correct. Yes.
Hi, Dawn.
It is absolutely amazing what we can do to help. Probably my famous story. There's a very specific pattern that is defined as the desire to strip naked, climb to the top of a very tall place, and sing. I don't know what else would sort of quantify as a paranoia or mental disorder other than that kind of a story, and we have ways that we can help with that.
Wow, that's good. So, Vaughn, where are you located? Are you located in Sweden as well, or?
Looks like a Danish name to me.
In Halsen. So Denmark or Belgium area? I don't know. Anyway, it is just about that time for you, 10:30.
Yeah, I have veterinary patients. I got to go.
That is so exciting, though. It really is. But you're off tomorrow, or you've got somebody else filling in for Scott on your normal 7 a.m.?
Actually, I have a pretty light day tomorrow. Yeah, without him.
Good.
West
Oh,
Coast.
9.
German.
Sounds Dutch to me. Okay.
That makes sense. That's true.
Yeah, German does too. So you have a light day tomorrow. So hopefully you'll be able to enjoy some of the things. If you are, no, it's not tomorrow. Sunday is, what is Sunday? Sunday, there'll be a market it's Superstition Springs Community Market at Baseline and Power. And it's on the southeast corner. But why I'm saying that is a great place for you to go visit. There's a lot of dogs walking around and a lot of people looking for help with pets and stuff. So I think that would be great. If we had a booth, I would ask you to come there and sit there on that booth. But that would be a great place for you to go and check things out.
And you said that runs in the morning?
It's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So.
Okay. Cool.
So I know you'd bring your cards. Like I said, there's lots of dogs walking around there. That is a great place to go. The second Sunday is also a great place to go. I think this is going to be Earth Day at the second Sunday, which is on Mill Avenue. And that starts at 10. I can't remember what time it goes to 2 probably. But that is a great place to go and check things out as well. Now, tomorrow morning will be Susan on the live, and she is at 10 a.m. And then on Sunday will be, I'm not going to put them all up quick. I guess I get Susan here. Sunday, Psychic Sunday will be with Bonnie and Jess, and that's at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Hopefully Miss Angie will be on at 3 p.m. ish with Sherry Berry on Sunday afternoon. Monday is tea time with Naturally Divine Goddess Tarot, Miss Shauna Sellers. Tuesday, I will be back with Claudene around 8 a.m. We're kind of ishy on that on Tuesdays. And then I will be back on Wednesday with Miss Bonnie at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Tuesday night class. Wednesday night will be A5 Says and Natural Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Sorry. And then Thursday is Shauna Sellers and okay, and Angie's going to check with Sherry for the weekend. And Shauna Sellers and Sonoran Mystic Tarot on Thursdays. And then I'll be back with Scott on Friday. And hopefully you guys will come in because we do need to change the name. And anybody is welcome to put a new name in. Cheers, Kirby. Brilliant. Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks for having me again.
Great to have you, Kirby. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a beautiful day, guys.
Oops. Trying to get the design off of here. Okay.